This is the Paranormal Report. It is a special Thanksgiving Paranormal Report. I'm Jim Harold. Hey, Dar.
Hi, how's it going?
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving. Couple days.
We have these, the WKRP turkey drop. If you know, you know. And
if not, watch the episode. It's absolutely hilarious.
Yes. Find it however you can find it. WKRP Thanksgiving Turkey Drop. It's one of the greatest sitcom episodes in the history of television. It really is.
I think so. Well, we always, just to explain, we always have a family shirt for holidays. Well, mainly Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't think we do. I haven't done Easter yet or anything like that. No. I'll have to do that. But anyway, this was our family shirt from a couple years ago. So I'm wearing it today. And
such a great job making these things and designing these.
Well, this one we just bought.
Right.
This one I didn't make. But last year's I made, and I made this year's, and I'm going to post a picture of it in the virtual campfire. It is hilarious. Yeah. I think it's hilarious. So
virtualcampfiregroup.com, virtualcampfiregroup.com. It's free. Be there. It's where all the cool kids hang
I would
out.
Post it on Insta, but I hate Insta, so I don't go on there. I do have an account, but I don't.
Well, I can post it. But yeah. Nevertheless.
So special edition.
Special edition. That's you took the words right out of my mouth because
it's coming out on Tuesday.
Yes, it's Thanksgiving week, so we're not shutting it down, but we're slowing it down here at the Spooky Studio for Thanksgiving. We're definitely shutting it down on Thursday. And we wanted to get this show out a little bit early, and it actually worked out really well because this week saw the premiere of Age of Disclosure, that much-awaited UFO documentary. So Dar and I sat down last night and watched it. At first, I thought maybe the aliens were interfering with our technology. We've got a decent TV. It's not like one of these $2,000 TVs or anything, but we got a nice TV, a nice setup. And started watching it, and the volume mysteriously kept turning itself up. And I'm trying to turn it down. Yeah, to 100. I'm like, my ears.
Yeah, we're dying.
The aliens, the crypto-terrestrials are interfering with our technology. And
somebody was definitely interfering with this and did not want us to watch this.
Or it might have just been old batteries, because the TV's 4 years old. And they're 4-year-old batteries. I think that might have been.
We had to play with the remote a bit, but I don't think it was the batteries. But so, many stops and starts.
But once we got to watching it, I thought, honestly, the first half hour, it's like, I know this. But as it went along, I felt it snowballed. And I think it's a great kind of primer for people who don't really know a lot about this and don't really realize all the things that have happened in the last several years, the last 80 years. And then also, for people who do know, there are some really interesting little tidbits, a great explanation of the theory of how these things travel, and just a star-studded cast of governmental officials who basically said there's really something to this. I have more thoughts, but I want to get some of your thoughts.
Well, I even told you last night, I'm not sure, okay, so I like paranormal, right? There's things I love. I always love the other side kind of things. I'm into the psychics and spirituality. That's my forte. So if we weren't doing this, would I have watched this on my own? I'm not sure, because I don't know if I'm that big enough of a UFO.
You don't vibe with the UFO subject.
Well, no, I don't have a strong affinity for it, right? Cool. That's kind of how I feel. However, I told you this while we were watching this. I really, really wish this film would have come out prior to me even starting to do all of this with you, because it really, really does give a beautiful synopsis of what's been going on, people's firsthand accounts of what's been going on. So like you said, that first half, super interesting and very well done. I feel like the film was very well done. Yeah. Right. So that I appreciated. Like you said, then I was towards the end of the film very interested, because you start getting some tidbits of information that have not been out before, or at least in my opinion. And you get some good explanations.
Well, I was familiar with there's a theory that the reason that these craft like the Tic Tac and so forth, the reason that they're able to like shoot off like in a millisecond and do things that regular craft can't do, the theory is they're traveling in some kind of bubble. And they're able to warp time and space within the bubble. And the actual craft is impervious to whatever environment they're in. They're impervious to our gravity. They're impervious to underwater. That's why you see them moving. So
yes,
because
that's why
they're in their own little bubble. And I've heard this theory before, but I've never heard it explained as well. It was Eric Davis, PhD, and also Hal Puthoff, PhD, both great scientists who explain it very, very well. And that alone was worth excellent. It. There was that disclosure about, and I'm sure this may have been floating around before, but that Halloran Air Force Base 1964 encounter where an alien walks off of a craft onto the tarmac. And supposedly, was it Bush 1? It was Bush 1 who Herbert Walker Bush.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah. And I don't think that I did either. Maybe I should have, but I didn't think that I knew about it. But again, I know it's expensive. I think it was $19.99 to rent or $24.99 to buy. And at that point, I just bought it. I mean, because this is my job. And I understand that could be pricey for people. And it is expensive. But I don't think this was a cheap thing to make. And I mean...
Oh, you could tell it wasn't. The production quality was excellent.
Plus all those interviews. And I mean, this has been going on for years. So honestly, I don't begrudge Dan Farah and his group. I mean, quality is not cheap. And, they have to make some money on it too. I mean, that's the way of the world.
I did take some notes. There was a quote. I don't have a direct... So this isn't direct, so it's kind of paraphrased a bit. But Dr. Eric Davis in this says, the reason why they don't tell the American people is because there's nothing they can do about it. So if it is extraterrestrial, yeah, go ahead, Jim.
But I think that was specifically referring to the beginning when Truman was president and the decision was made. But go ahead.
No, I just enjoyed that because I still feel like I still feel that it holds true today. What are they going to do about it? We don't have that kind of technology that they have. We don't have where we could put a spacecraft in a time-space bubble and, shoot up into the air. I mean, that was who was the gentleman in the one hearing who talked about how it hovered for like 3 hours and then it just shot straight up in the air? Oh, I know, the
security officer, the one security officer. I can't remember his name. I know exactly who I can see him. Yeah.
Oh, that was very compelling.
Dr. Bob Jacobs, my old professor, was in there. I was so glad to see him. And the thing I'll tell you about his story, I heard his story in 1990 or 91, one or the other. He had told it and he actually videotaped it. And I was there because it was in a broadcasting class that I had with him. And he's never changed. I've heard him tell the story multiple times. He's told the story on my show. I heard it originally in 90. I've seen it on Larry King. It never changes. It never wavers. I 100% believe he's telling the truth. And it was good to see him.
But that was the thing. I believed all of them were telling the truth because what is their motivation to lie about this? Like, what are they getting out of it? Because look at some of the whistleblowers, their lives were threatened. Lou Elizondo is very prominent in this film. He talked about how someone very high up came to him and said there was a committee of 27?
I think so.
27 committee members that literally were talking about rubbing him out along with, who was the other one? Do you remember?
Grush?
It was him.
Was it Grush? Was it Grush?
It was Grush. I think I don't know if it was Grush. I can't remember.
Well, you got to watch the movie. We don't want to give away all the secrets of the movie, but it was
his life
compelling.
was in danger. So that's my point. Knowing that these people can lose their careers, which we've seen, be, pretty much blackballed and said that they're nuts, that they're crackpots, so their reputations are completely tarnished. So what's the motivation for them to lie about this? Like what is it gaining them? They're not getting tons of money.
Another example, I was listening to Dan Farr on the Rogan podcast and the filmmaker, and he said a couple of people were scheduled to be interviewed, but they both got back to him with the same phrase, and it was very chilling. He said, I've decided not to participate in them. It's paraphrased, but basically the idea, they used the phrase forfeit. They did not want to forfeit their life. Two different people said,
there you go.
I'm not going to talk to you because I do not want to forfeit my life. In other words, resume room temperature, cease to exist, all that stuff. And do I believe that if the secret is this big that people could be assassinated and murdered for this? Absolutely, unfortunately. I absolutely believe it.
I believe that.
Who was it? Nick Ritfern did a book where he talked about a lot of mysterious deaths around the UFO subject. I totally believe that. Because there's some bad mothers.
The film talks about the legacy. What's the rest of the
legacy program?
The legacy program, and basically, and then they're showing how it is so secretive, and it's like kind of headed by the CIA, and then you have defense contractors under that, and you have Department of Energy under that.
And this I knew of before. The idea is they can take these arcane technologies that they recover from alien craft, and they can basically move them over to the private sector. So things like freedom of information requests, that's for the government, but you can't get freedom of information from defense contractors. So it's a way to insulate it from the public. Lockheed Martin is probably foremost among them from what people are saying. Speaking of which, you were going to mention something. It was actually mentioned on the Rogan podcast, and you read something about what Dan Farr said.
Well, yeah, Entertainment Weekly said Dan Farr says President Trump could reveal the existence of non-human intelligent life in, quote, the near future. It's only a matter of time before the sitting president steps up and tells the world we're not alone in the universe. That was very big part of the film, too, about why they have to think very carefully about doing that. Right, Jim? I mean, like they were very there are a couple of things that
came up. You think about it. I mean, there are reasons to hide some of this. I mean, let's say that they have been able, and the movie basically says they've been able to reverse engineer at least some of this technology. And I've been saying this for years, and many people have been saying, how do we get from in the 70s, I had a kitchen phone on the wall with a dial, and now I've got this where I can talk to everybody in the world with video. How do we get from there to here so damn quickly? And I'm glad
what the skeptics would say about that.
They can say whatever they want. I believe I believe that some of this technology was seeded into the system. And, Bell Labs or these people say, oh, look at this new transistor thing we have. And then human ingenuity took over. I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm not saying that aliens built the iPhone, but certain technologies were seeded to private industry, and they were able to develop them and get the technological wonders we have now. I mean, you were talked about when you were a kid, you wanted to call your uncle in England, and it was like how much. And now
oh my God,
guys,
we could literally only stay on the phone for no more than 2 minutes because it would be over. Gosh, I think it was like $20 just to talk 2 minutes. Right. And my dad would be like, say hello, now get off.
Yeah. And now you can talk to him every Sunday, full video, like he's right in front of you. And now, I mean, young people, I mean, everybody thinks I'm 90 anyway, so it's a difference.
Right.
But young people think, oh, no big deal. I mean, you had to be Ted frickin' Koppel to do what we're doing right now. Well, not so much we're in the same house, but still, I mean, I could do this. If I were halfway across the country, we could do exactly what we're doing now. And you had to have a satellite, and where did the technology for satellites come from? The point is I think there has been stuff seeded, because if you look at the technological development post-World War II to now, it is just incredible. It's just breathtaking. And where did all that come from? Did we suddenly get so smart so fast? There was an X factor, and I think reverse engineering some of this technology is some of it. But that's nothing compared to what they probably have access to.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I also in the film, I did enjoy, Elizondo has a chalkboard up and he talks about the 6 observables, right? 6 characteristics about UAPs. And I enjoyed that because it's talking about like the velocity and the instantaneous acceleration and the low visibility and how the travel, the transmedium travel, the anti-gravity, it goes through all of them. I appreciated that.
Yeah.
And they
really
corroborated it with people's view, their own personal stories of what they have seen and whatnot.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, and like I said, the first 15, 20 minutes, I'm like, oh, this is the same UFO documentary I've seen 20 times. But then as it went on, I'm like, oh, okay, now I see.
Yes.
So if you're like that, you're someone steeped in this stuff, you've been following it, and you go the first 15, 20 minutes, you're like, oh, this is all
keep up
rehash.
with it.
Stick with it. And it clarified some concepts for me and reintroduced me to some maybe cases I've forgotten or ones I didn't even know about. Now, Farah, they're thinking, as you mentioned, that maybe that Trump will come out with this. I don't believe that's going to happen.
No? You don't think?
No, I don't think Trump will do that. Because he's been asked about, he said, well, I'm not really a believer, but people are saying, there's something to this. But
you got Vance and you got Rubio who are very much into it.
I'm not even convinced that Vance is that much into it because he talked about, but he didn't seem as open to it as Rubio.
Well,
now, if Rubio were president, maybe that would be different.
And that's why he probably wasn't president.
Just to be equal, if Gillibrand were president or Schumer were president. I mean, I'm trying to be equal here on both sides so we don't upset anyone's little feelings. But the point is that I don't think Trump's ever going to come out with it. He could have came out with it during his first term. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's wishful thinking. Now, Joe Rogan said he's going to talk to Trump, so who knows?
Oh, and that'll change everything because, you know.
Who knows? But I will say this in a way, Trump is maybe one of the more likely to because he's one of the most, in our lifetime, non-traditional presidents. Love him or hate him,
That's
he
a good
is non-traditional.
Word. I was wondering how you were going to be diplomatic about that.
No, he is non-traditional, let's face it. And I could see him, and he tends to be someone who I think does things on spur of the moment.
Oh, really? You think he's a little impulsive?
Because one day he loves someone, and the next day, he's a dog. I mean,
nothing but a piggy hippo, or I don't know what he says. I don't know.
But anyway, the point being that I could see him changing his mind from day to day. So maybe he's one of the more likely. So I would say he's more likely than the average president just because he's on a bit of a hair trigger. On the other hand, in the final analysis, I don't think he's going to do it.
I think the film brought up some really good implications for why you would not want to do that, maybe. So, I would imagine he's probably, hopefully has some advisors that are weighing things carefully. Because they make the point about, so if we have all this information, it's not just the United States that probably has all this information. Some of our adversaries have this information as well. And who's going to be, it's kind of like they talked about the race to win, like it was the race to nuclear, who could do that first, and we did it, and we win, blah, 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 whatever.
It's like nobody the Cold War arms race on steroids.
Right.
Or Manhattan, somebody said it was the Manhattan
Project on steroids. Yeah.
Jay Stratton, I think, said that.
Yeah. So you need to, so they're thinking about that too. How much do we want to put out there
couldn't they say, we're not alone in the universe. We know for a fact that there is an intelligent life and they have been here, but they don't have to say that we've been running secret military programs. Can't you say that?
Well, maybe they feel it's too intertwined to
yeah.
I don't know.
Because I would
have liked to go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you would have liked, you finish your thought first.
Well, I would have liked to have seen, it'll never happen, but it would have been nice if all these countries could get together, right? And come to at least on one thing, right? I mean, if we don't agree on anything else, I think we all agreed about this. I mean, this is all about our planet, basically, not just the United States or Russia or China. Like, we're all human beings and we're all part of humanity and we're all part of this earth. It would be great if they could all just come together on that and just make one statement. Oh, I know it'll never happen. No, I know that. Forget
the
that.
Only,
but
the only exception to that might
optimistic
be
side.
And they spotlight it in there, and I've talked about it on the shows before. It's very well known. When President Reagan was in front of the United Nations in 1987 and basically said, well, I often wonder what we would be like and we would unite if there were an alien invasion. I'm like, he knows something. He knows something. And that was the feeling I had throughout the movie, because certain people would go there. They would say, yes, they're non-human intelligences. There are other people that would go up to the line, but they wouldn't cross it, like a Rubio or I think Clapper, who I was amazed to see. And that tells you where we're at with this, because Clapper is very much in that Clinton-Obama circle, right? And Rubio definitely is not. But you have, and that's one thing I really appreciate. I love to see the Democrats and the Republicans kind of agreeing on something. It's amazing.
They said that in the film. They said of everything that's out there, this seems to be the only topic that they can get more bipartisan support on. So kudos. I
can't remember
more of that.
I can't remember if he was a senator or representative. I really liked what Carson had to say. I thought he was excellent. He was excellent. I really liked what he had to say. It was really and interesting.
Yeah, if you're remotely interested or you want a little bit more meat, I would watch that.
It's worth. I mean, I would give it a definite thumbs up.
But like I said, I really would have loved this prior to have started. I think it would have given me a better foundation, a better overview of everything. Bad on me for not doing research and reading all about it.
But I think part of the thing, and I was telling somebody this yesterday, actually. I was on another podcast and they were complimenting this show. And I said, well, the one thing, I mean, aside from you having a very feisty personality and good on camera, me. Also, I think it's good that you bring a little bit of the outsider perspective, someone who hasn't watched all the UFO documentaries and hasn't read the books, like kind of more the average person. But now you're getting sucked in, which is kind of fun to watch too.
I get kind of sucked in, but I'm also, I think with everything almost in life, I'm kind of in the middle for most things. I think there's things on this side, I believe. There's things on that side, I believe. Like, so in terms of the paranormal, yes, there's things I definitely subscribe to 100. And then even within that, so like we talk about psychics, you said somebody's like, psychics, they're all frauds. They're not all frauds, okay? Are many of them frauds? Probably. Are all of them? No.
I wouldn't say many, but I would say some. I would say some. I don't.
All or nothing. It's always the all or nothing that I can't stand. Nothing in life is all or, okay?
Right.
It's some, like even when sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad. You know what I mean? It's not your, and if you are always sad, then I urge you to get some help, please. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, nothing in life is all or. So why can't you cherry pick your beliefs and say, you know what, I don't subscribe to everything there. And you know what I mean? So, and I don't know if I subscribe to everything that was even presented. Like most of it though, they made a very strong, plausible case. Yes. I believe. And everything I was like,
if you think this, and we're going to talk about this minute because you found an article from someone who's been on the shows. But the thing is that essentially, if you're not buying into this to a certain level after watching that, you're basically saying that most of these people are liars. That's what you're saying. You're saying they're liars.
Oh, for sure they're saying that. Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely saying that.
I just think that the weight of, it's not proof, but evidence, and the weight of the people talking from different political parties, people who have been in the CIA, people... and they're not exactly saying, some of them weren't saying that there is ET life, but they were heavily implying in things, again, certain people wouldn't go against those lines. Then you've got people like Elizondo and Stratton and say, yeah, definitely. But then more interesting to me were these Congress people who weren't saying absolutely, and it was so funny. They were talking about how the one bill has been getting so much pushback, Schumer's bill. Bill. We're going to talk about Schumer, so I'm getting my Schumers and my Schumers confused. But Schumer's bill and how it keeps getting pushback because of the influence of the defense contractors. The very specific things that they put in there, like what was the one thing, reverse engineering and retrieval of biological material. It was very specific. So that tells me that they know that this is going on. So that's why they specifically wrote the language into the bill, and the fact the bill can't get through because it's the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules, and the defense contractors contribute heavily to a lot of Congress people, and it keeps getting blocked. And, that's why I don't think there's ever going to be willing disclosure, because there's too many powerful people who don't want it. And that's why I don't think you'll see Trump do it. I don't think you'll see anybody do it. But I will say this, one other thing, and let's talk about that Shermer thing. You kind of watch this and you're like, very interesting, very interesting. But what if this had come out 15 years ago? Could you imagine? That's how far things have progressed. And we've moved towards the idea that this is real. If you had, I don't know, in the year 2000 or 2005, a documentary with 34 people connected to the government, I think that was the number, who said there may be or there is something to this. It would be like headline news. And it is making a lot of news, but it's not the top story. So that shows how far we've kind of got desensitized to this whole idea. And some people would say maybe that's by design. But anyway, you had an interesting article you found.
Well, yeah, skeptic.com. Because I just went on here right before we started taping, and I thought, what are some of the reviews? And I wanted to hear, the opposite.
The other side.
Yeah, so I thought, who not to read? Michael Shermer, right? I mean, skeptic.
Former paranormal podcast guest, yes.
The title, The Aliens Are Here Again. Here we go again. Another documentary film about how disclosure of alien contact is imminent. And he just bashes the entire thing, which I expected. Yeah. But some of his thoughts about it are faulty. So see, and that's, again, it's the all or nothing. So you've got the people who are, they're there. We have them. They're there. And then you've got this side. There's nobody there. They're all gone. They're not here. There's nobody. You can't prove it. It's no evidence. And that's all he keeps saying. There's no evidence. There's no evidence. They're all blurry photographs. There's no evidence.
They explain that.
They do explain that. He discounts that in this article.
Right.
So I don't want to get too much into it because I want you guys to see the movie. I would love you to read this article. I'll put it in the show notes.
Well,
he kind of discounts everything, and he goes step by step discounting even the bubble. He discounts, and I don't agree with him at all. I don't think he understands how science works. Sorry.
Well, first of all, let me say this about Dr. Shermer. He was on the Paranormal podcast many years ago. Perfect gentleman. And even though he vigorously disagrees with most of the stuff I believe.
Oh, completely.
He's at least the kind of guy who will have a conversation with someone he disagrees with. So I want to put that out there, that I respect him for that and I appreciate him for that, even though we vociferously disagree. But I mean, for many of these skeptics, let's face it, it's like a religion. It's basically, don't confuse me with the facts. It can't be because that's not possible.
Oh, they don't think there's facts.
I didn't read the article, but what did he say about all of these high-powered, not the Elizondos and the Strattons, but all these high-powered politicians coming out? What did he say about that? I didn't read all of that
anyway because he's too busy. So he likes to quote Leslie Kean's 2010 book, UFOs, Generals, Pilots, and Government Officials Go on the Record.
That. Yep.
Yeah, in which the ufologist admitted, quote, roughly 90 to 95% of UFO sightings can be explained.
Sure.
And he gives I agree
with that. And that's exactly, it's so funny you say that.
But see, that's the point. Then what about the other 5%?
That's exactly what I said to him. That's exactly what I said to him.
How do you discount that? Because he's saying, there's only one account. There's only been like one observer. That's not evidence. You know, if you were in my shoes, well, I'm not in your shoes. You can't replicate it. Blah, blah, blah is basically what he's saying. And he's talking about the blurry photographs.
How are you going to replicate a football-sized trapezoid floating over a military base or something? But here's the thing. It's so funny he brought that up because I had, and I think this is before that book even came out, I said, I literally said this, and this is all paraphrase, but I said, you know, Dr. Shermer, we probably agree. Probably 90+% of this stuff can be explained. But what about the other X%?
Yeah, what did he say?
He kind of chuckled and he said, that's what graduate students are for. He said, we just put it up on the shelf. And I'm like, no, you take that down off the shelf and look at it.
You're supposed to be a scientist.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
I do
Why
agree.
aren't you figuring it out?
I do agree. Like the drone sightings about this time last year, a lot of those were probably misidentification. People were so on edge, every plane they saw was a drone. I believe that. But I also believe there was something going on because there were also unrelated reports around U.S. military bases for years of stuff. So you're never going to win with the hardcore skeptics who do not want to entertain the thought of having been wrong.
Well, he's got a huge part of this article about Elizondo not being honest with his role in the UAP program for ATIP. He, of course, has to quote Susan, was her name Go?
I can never get it right. Gough or Go? G-O-U-G-H.
She's just a press spokesperson, so why are we listening to her anyway? Lou Elizondo did not have any assigned responsibilities for ATIP. So he's got to have a huge article about this in there.
You have people like Christopher Mellon, who I think served in the Clinton-Obama administrations, saying that that was unfair, the way that was characterized, and Jay Stratton, who was also in the government. So, I mean, I will say, you know, with Elizondo, I think he leans a little bit into that UFO bro culture, you know, with the T-shirt and all that. But
yeah, I was kind of disappointed to see him in that.
No, I mean, yeah.
Well, just this is just an aside. It's my own personal opinion.
I just hate that.
You want to be taken seriously? Wear a suit or wear something more like just a button up or something.
The whole. I just am not into that.
T-shirt,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing with the ghost thing. It's just not my thing. Is like the whole. I'm tough. I'm going after UFOs.
Well, that's right.
The content was good. And what he had to say was good.
See that, and you know they're going to make judgment calls on that.
It makes it, to me, it makes it less serious. Not that he has to be in a 3-piece suit or a tuxedo, but it does. That was a critique. Yeah, I think the black
T-shirt. That was my critique when I first saw him in that T-shirt, and it was a bad T-shirt. I'm sorry.
And he does clean up nicely.
I have to say this. It reminded me of that commercial. I don't know if you guys saw it. I don't even know what the product was. I think it was for some fabric softener or something, where the guy shows up on his date and he's wearing that wrinkly, stupid, stretched out T-shirt that looks horrible. When I saw him, I'm like,
yeah. So any effort to get Lou Elizondo on the shows is now shot.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Well, I wasn't going to get him on anyway.
I believe you. I do believe you.
No, I do.
Like what you were wearing. I'm allowed to have an opinion. Yeah. It's just my opinion.
But anyway, he leans into that UFO bro culture, which, you know, I don't think it's necessary. But again, people might think that I look silly. So,
well, they think you're 90 years old, so you can't wear the bro culture garb.
I gotta get to the gym. I gotta get to the gym. That's the thing. I gotta get to the gym, get some muscles, and get some tats. Well, I'm gonna talk about UFOs now. We're going to the top.
Get you some spinach. We'll get you some muscles. No, I mean, if people want to do that, God bless you. Everybody do their thing. It's just not my thing. I just don't. I don't know. But I have a problem with all kinds of stuff like that. I like people to be themselves, be unique, do what you like to do.
Well, maybe that is him, though, in his defense.
Well, if that's what he really likes, then God bless him. Great. That's good. I don't know. But I like
black T-shirts, but it's just like.
I wear black T-shirts all the time, but I'm also not going on there doing a
But his content
film.
Was very good, and I agree with you about breaking out the different categories and so forth. And I believe I read his book, and I recommend his book, Imminent, as well. That was interesting. He's always talking about imminent. What is imminent? What is imminent?
Tell them what he said. at the end, because didn't the film kind of there were, well, we won't tell you guys, but there's callback to Imminent at the end. So
I recommend
I found
it.
Extremely interesting, and I was like those things that make you go, So that's kind of how it ended on there. Yeah, but if you read the Skeptic article, he blasts everything. The legacy crash retrieval. He didn't like the answer that what scientist was saying about why they crash. If they're
was
so
it put off? Put off. Basically said
because they're gifts to humanity.
Yeah. Well, I think there are other people who've said that too as well. One thing that Dan Ferris said in the Rogan interview, and it was not in this, but he said that some of the testing, nuclear testing, atomic testing that the United States did and Russia was actually aimed at bringing these craft down. That they would blow up nukes to try to, they would test nukes to bring these down so they could retrieve them and do reverse engineering. That's a pretty big claim. There you go. That's a pretty big claim.
There you go. Well, I think just to wrap up my thoughts, I think both sides, here's the summary. Nobody knows. There you go. How about that?
Well, no, I do think some people know.
A few select people know. A few but they still don't know everything, Jim, and they don't really know what it is. You think people really? There's a few people that know everything, like exactly what it is, exactly who.
I think there are people who know a lot.
Biologics are,
and I think people are saying, they know. I don't.
Oh my God! Already,
no, but. No, I think
you guys even know
I've never been a believer myself, but
house he doesn't stop.
It could be. They're saying they're looking in the skies.
If you do that on Thanksgiving at the table, I am throwing mashed potatoes in your face. I swear.
People are saying this is a delicious
There'll
turkey.
be no stupid impersonations at the Thanksgiving
Yeah, I didn't
table.
even think about that. That's great. Thank you. That's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah? It'll be fun when you're cleaning
people are saying this is a delicious turkey. Many have said it's maybe the best turkey they've ever had. Anyway.
I should have made the T-shirt every Thanksgiving. I give my family the bird. How about that one, Jim?
Yes. Anyway.
Stop. My God, please. Oh, my God.
Well.
The first few times, it's great. After 300, it's like, pull my freaking hair out.
So here's the deal.
I
folks.
need one.
Here's
maybe
the deal.
I could bother you with one.
I think we give it a big thumbs up. We recommend it if it's something within your budget. I would recommend it. It's a good thing to see, and hopefully it'll move the ball forward to some type of disclosure. I'm a little skeptical that it will, but I hope that it does.
And I recommend watch it, and I recommend also reading Dr. Shermer's article too, and see how you compare and contrast it.
That's right.
Make your own.
That's right. Maybe you think Dr. Shermer is right. Yeah.
You could think he is right. I don't personally. Most of his arguments to me weren't very compelling. It didn't change my mind from what I had seen. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. My whole key thing is, what is the motivation for all of these officials, all of these people that worked in government, all these people, military, and even on the lower level? What is their motivation to lie? What are they gaining from it? Because when you lie, you're gaining something usually from the lie.
And I go back to all these politicians. I mean, somebody could say, look, and I'm not saying this because actually, again, I thought Elizondo had some great stuff, but people may say, well, Elizondo had a book out and wants to sell a book or whatever the case may be. But
he didn't mention his book on this.
No, he didn't. No, I'm just saying.
So there you go.
Let me finish my thought. I'm playing devil's advocate. What some may say is that, okay? But what benefit does James Clapper have in talking about this? What benefit does Marco Rubio have in talking about this? What benefit does Schumer have bringing this bill up? What benefit, you could go down the list of all these, Gillibrand, what benefit does she have in bringing this up? Luna. It goes on and on. So the point being, what benefit do those Carson, what benefit do those politicians have? Particularly people like Rubio and Clapper.
it may alienate because
Right.
we have this
No pun
stigma that they
intended.
talk about in there. I know, really, that was a good one. There's that stigma if you believe you're a crackpot. So they
to
talk
me,
about that in the film. So
I mean,
yeah.
we, you know, I'm not discounting it, but we've heard from people like Elizondo and Jay Stratton and even Christopher Mellon and those people. But to get the clappers and the clap on, the Rubios,
Merry Christmas.
all those different people. Brought to you by Ronco. No,
I was going to say that.
Ronco,
you beat me.
Dun, 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 dun. Anyway,
You beat me on that one.
if you know, you know, Gen X, those old Ronco commercials. It's
Great
Mr.
Christmas
Microphone.
commercials.
See, that's what inspired me.
Eddie on Virtual Campfire was talking about old great Christmas commercials from the past.
The Norelco razor with the Santa Claus.
Yes. He had the good one about Eaton Park with the Christmas tree.
Oh, that one I don't remember.
Yeah, you do. It's the little animated tree, and the star can't get up on the top of the tree, and then the tree bends down to get the star and bring him up. Very nice. Inspirational, very nice. But yeah, all those old commercials. There's tons of them. But anyway.
Okay. Well, before we go, because this is getting lengthy. This is getting lengthy.
Too lengthy. Yeah,
we have to talk about our merch. We have a big sale coming up. A really big sale.
Jim laughed at that one. He knows. Blah, 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 blah. When he first met me, he's like, gosh, she's so quiet. She never talks.
Yeah. Then that changed quickly. Changed quickly.
Fooled
quickly.
you.
JimHarold.com/merch. But there is a special reason on Black Friday you're going to want to go here, and the prices will be even lower. I will let Dar take it from here and explain what's going to happen.
Yeah, we're running
on
a Black Friday sale. Black Friday sale starting at midnight on Black Friday Eastern time, I'm pretty sure. I never know how that goes because Etsy doesn't tell me the time zone. I'm assuming it's my time. I don't know. But
so it'll be 12:01 on Black Friday.
On Black Friday at our Mausoleum of Merch. Everything in the store will be 20% off, and we've never done that. So, yay! Happy shopping. And I will have my craft, and I'll just go ahead and tell you that it is an ornament that I have made. So we'll have that up. Also going to be 20%. So everything in the store will be 20% off.
And that'll go through Cyber Monday,
through Cyber Monday, December 1st.
But get in quickly because some stuff is subject to sellout. So if you want to get yours,
is, and there's certain things that could be out of stock. And I'm trying.
So get in early. Don't wait. Don't wait till Monday.
Yeah. The sale doesn't change, so it's not. You're not going to get something.
It's more
extra or special on
sizes.
Cyber Monday.
Yeah, certain sizes might be out. Like stickers, we only have so many stickers. We only have so many ornaments. So if you want to get it while you can at the
especially the ornaments
price.
Where I just made a certain amount. I can make a few more, but
it's not unlimited. It's not. It's handcrafted by Dar Harold. Yeah.
Be in there all day making
And we thought about starting it on Thanksgiving, but then Dar would be hitting her phone every time. And plus Thanksgiving is for family. Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Or if you don't like your family, it's for being thankful that you have so many blessings in your life.
Yes.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, sometimes this is like not, some people don't look forward to this holiday.
Right.
But, even if you've had the worst year ever, I am positive you can find something to be thankful for.
And we understand that we do have international listeners who like, hey, that's your holiday over there. So I just hope you have a great Thursday that day. So we don't want to forget you. Yeah.
Our UK people, Jim.
Yes. Now, be clear, we have no sale for our UK people, but we do have a way, and I'll have to get that posted on the website today, where people can buy some of our merch.
Some
in the UK,
merch is now available on Amazon in the UK. So amazon.co.uk. I struggled with it's weird when you do a search to try to find certain things. Jim, do we have an actual dedicated link to where they can get stuff? Because I know we had something for the US at one point, but the UK was kind of hard to find. I put in Jim Harold Media, and then all the shirts that we had and hoodies and things came up. I do have the Christmas stuff in there. I can't offer my ornaments. We can't offer the stickers. And I have very, very limited control of what gets actually posted. I can't control the brand of the shirt. I don't have any idea what brand it is. I have no idea. They don't give you that information. So I could create some merch, but I have no control like I do in our shop. But I know a lot of our UK people are always saying, oh, I wish I could buy that shirt, or I wish I could have that hoodie, or I wish I could, so this is a way to get some of those things. We do have the general logo up. We have the new logo. So I tried to put as much of our those kinds of items and shirts and hoodies, basically. I think some sweatshirts too in there.
Yeah, and we'll have a link at jimharold.com/merch for that specifically. I was trying to look it up, but I'm not finding it right now,
that's why I didn't come with one, because I couldn't find something. And maybe you're better at searching it out than I was. Because it runs differently on UK versus US, and yeah.
Right.
So,
well, there you have it.
But we thought, hey, it's some way if you wanted to get your hands on something. You can.
Well, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Also, the Plus Club will have a sale. It will be same timing, Black Friday through Cyber Monday, and it will be 50% off of your first year. 50% off of your first year as a Spooky Studio Plus member. And we also will have a deal in there for the monthly users as well. But really the best deal is the yearly half off. And you get a full year of access to the Campfire back catalog and everything else we do behind the scenes for the Plus Club. So check that out at jimharold.com/plus. Dart, thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving. I know we both got a lot to do. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to say on this Thanksgiving, I mean, I'm thankful for my health and my family and those things, but Jim and I both want to extend a great thanks to all of you guys for your support, for listening when you buy something, for telling somebody about the show, for sharing it, for putting a comment up. We're just so thankful to all of you guys, and we really appreciate it.
I agree. Very thankful for you guys. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And we will talk to you next time on the Paranormal Report. Happy Thanksgiving and stay spooky.
Bye. Have a good one.